Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ant Holleufer YouTube channel, extra channel, who knows nowadays, well because this is the active one, the other one isn't, but hang on, no method on the loose. Either way, today we're doing an update on the manica rubida challenge. I have been participating in the manica rubida challenge this year and it's time for a little update because some people asked. Rather, I had some ideas for how to take care of them. And regarding that, I certainly have some ideas of how to take care of them. Rather, this is the best way or not, well, I don't know. You can see here I have two setups. I have just before we start this is here because somehow this lid, you can see here, it warps. It's warped. Not on this. Just enough that the ants can squeeze themselves out. So I have this rock here to weigh it down. But yeah, this is here as a full aesthetic ant setup. We have a mini outworld connected up with a white tongue aesthetic ant nest, the Ancon special edition. And you can see the colony is living right here. We'll talk more about them in a second. And then we have the Wakooshi Gen 4 modular range 4-way connector here. That's not the correct name, but 4-way connector here with a feeding outward. What is this called? It's a 4-way module with a feeding outward either way. And yeah, I've just connected test tubes up. So initially I had the lunar pod connected to this and I'm like, it's way cleaner just to connect the colony via tubes like this. And it's so easy to feed these girls because, well, if I just get to remove the lid right here. Oh, hang on, where is it? There we go. Which you can see here, it's very easy to remove. Now, these were fed 12 hours ago, so that's why it's quite disgusting. But you can also see massive activity out here. So this is an all Wakooshi setup. And over here, well, it's a test tube setup connected to Wakooshi. And over here we have an all aesthetic ant setup with dirt inside. Both of these colonies were from none other than Ant Antics. And if you want a discount code to Wakooshi, aesthetic ants, or Ant Antics, there'll be a link in the description, or at least it'll be shown in the description. If we start by looking at this colony right here, this is the Ancon colony. Now I'm not going to remove this outward lid because the ants will just escape, but you can see we have some out here. I have a few workers out here. Checking out what's going up and down. Now I can't clean this out well because the workers escape, so it's not being cleaned super well. It's also why we have the rock, because they keep escaping. My plan is to move them out of this. This in here is the colony, and for such a long time I didn't see the colony because they were just underground, and at one point I even thought the queen had died. You can, by the way, see we have a ton of small springtails living in here. They're enjoying their best life. And you can see that the colony is doing very well. The reason the soil is so wet is because it was hydrated just yesterday. I hydrated around once a week. But you can see the springtails are surely enjoying themselves in here. And to be honest, I've absolutely no idea how many colony members we do have. But you can see here that there is some... Hang on. We actually have some fresh eggs as well in there. That's very nice. So there's some fresh eggs. There's some cocoons, naked cocoons with naked pupae. And we have some larvae, and the colony is overall doing really well. Now, I didn't see this colony for the better half of a few months almost, because they were just hiding. They were just living underground. The queen is heading towards the exit. I think that's my cue to stop recording them. But they were actually living right here for such a long time. So the only way I could check if they were alive were to disconnect the outworld. Then I could just see they were sitting right here. But that's all changed not that long ago. Again, this is the Ancon white tongue nest from aesthetic ants, the small, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I can't say anything. It's done its job quite well. Except I couldn't see that much for quite a long time. Now over here we have Paniki. Now this girl in here, the queen in here is Paniki. I never thought she would survive because she's so panicky. Like every single time I look at her, she just goes crazy. And that's why I called her Paniki. Which is just panic in Danish, and then put together with the name Nikki. Paniki. Paniki. Yeah, it's a Danish pond, but it's also just English word. But yeah, you can see in here we once again have quite a few larvae. We have a few pupae. We don't have any fresh eggs, it seems. But you can see how they've decided to build their own little nest here in the old cotton, and they've actually been living in this water section for such a long time now. They do have a fresh water source right next door. We do also have a few springtails, believe it or not. In the beginning, they were stirred in this tube, so that's how the springtail have survived. Now, I'm unsure if we have eggs in here. Doesn't look like we have any eggs. But overall, this colony is doing a lot better. you can see here we have, well, there's like 10, 15 workers here. It's like 10, 15 workers out here. And we have like 10, 15 workers in here. So I don't know what, like 60 workers, is that a high number? 50 workers, I don't know, I'm not good at counting, but you can count them for me and say how many we have. So let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 15 here, yeah. Okay, 10 out there, fine, 10 and 10. So that is what, that's 10, 20, 45, 50 workers, boop, 50 workers. And as you can see, there is no fresh eggs, as I just said. Now, Paniki in here, she's been doing a very good job, even though she's always crazy. Oh, wait, hang on. I spoke too soon, didn't I? I certainly spoke too soon. We have some eggs in there. Now, my hibernation plan this year is very simple. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not heating them, but they are in a heated room, so it's like 23 degrees for them year around. And the reason I'm not going to hibernate them is because Antimatters last year, just going to connect this to make sure it's all connected. Antimatters last year said he didn't hibernate and he didn't see any issues with that. So what have I done other than that? Well, they have been at 23 to 24 degrees all year long. And what I'm doing right here regarding their feeding, let's just see if I can remove this again. I told Wakooshi he should make these large at one point. I never knew if he actually did it or not, but here we are. This is what I'm feeding them. I'm feeding them roaches. Originally, I fed them roaches 3 times a week and sugar once a week. So 3 times protein and 1 sugar. Now it's 1 protein and sugar, 1 protein and sugar. And then I'm just feeding a little bit larger protein. Again, these were fed yesterday and tomorrow they'll be cleaned. I've really not made a dent in that jelly whatsoever. You can also see we have a few deaths in here. I think, yeah, I just love that compared to this colony, like I really can't work with these because they'll just escape. And I know this is bigger, but I just love that there's the ability to apply an escaper engine. Also that they're not even at the walls, which is just funny. But yeah, I'm really big fan of this, just as founding setup, just because it's, to be honest, I don't know the price of it, to be honest. But it's just really, it's like a Venus. It's like a Venus, just a bigger outworld. The Venus's biggest problem is, I would say, the feeding area. And this is just like a big Venus almost. Either way, I'm feeding them initially. Once again, I fed them 3 times a week, 3 times protein, and 1 of them was protein and sugar. And now it's 2 times protein, and 1 of them is protein and sugar. And it seems to be working fairly fine. I've never done the thing of like giving them small cutout things so they can drag them home. I was just going with what I've been doing with all of my other ants, and as you can see, they are doing absolutely fine, it seems. I mean, I'm not, to be honest, I'm disturbing them quite a lot. At least Paniki in here, she's been disturbed quite a lot over the year, or over the past half year or something. I don't know how long I've had them, half a year or something. I got them in the early part of this year, I think. And yeah, I mean, those damn crickets. And yeah, I mean, I can't say anything. It's a lovely little colony, both of them. These here need an upgrade just because I can't feed them anymore and it's very tiring. I think I'm going to go for maybe something like an Ant Farm Supply small nest with a small outworld or something to check out their small range. Or potentially some Ant Davy things to once again try some new products. But yeah, that's been a little update. Saying that, what do you think of the way I'm keeping them? How are you keeping them? Please let me know in the comments so we can get a little discussion for all of those out there who may be wondering how to take best care of manica rubida. This has been my manica rubida challenge. I had 3 colonies initially. 1 of them lived in a dirt setup, and I think the queen died. Well, I know the queen died. Put her in there. Saw a little bit. We have another Nova Methacoccorelli over there on the loose. What are you doing up there, sir? Well, you're not a sir, you're a woman. Yeah, well, that's very correct. Let me just pick this girl up here. Oh. Here we are, little Nova Methacoccorelli here. The reason they've escaped is because I've been redoing their setup slightly. So I think I've just, yeah, they're just, there was a few who escaped when I did the setup, and I'll probably find another 2 or 3 in total. But yeah. In other notes, thank you all very much for watching this video. Let me know again what you think of the way I'm keeping them. How do you keep them? Get some comments rolling to help all of those who still haven't had a successful manica rubida colony. Alright, goodbye guys. Bye!